Listo, voy a reaccionar al tráiler de la nueva actualización desde Queror, así que le voy a dar un like y listo, ya estoy suscrito, así que vamos.
Ojo, 6.000 personas en YouTube viéndolo, cuidado. Estamos viendo el anuncio de Fall Guys Creativo. ¡Que empieza! ¡Se viene! Volumen, volumen. Bueno, está muy fuerte esto. Ojo. No creo que se vea los mapas de la temporada nueva, ¿no? Yo creo que es solo creativo esto, ¿o qué? A lo mejor sacan el trailer de la temporada también, ¿eh? No sé. No tengo ni idea. Vale, esto es creativo.
Hello and welcome here to the Fall Guys HQ. I'm Leah Alexandra and today we're getting into all things creative because, drumroll please, Fall Guys Creative is launching on the 10th of May. Yes! With the launch just around the corner. We thought today we'd dig into
lo ha dicho tan rápido que me he quedado en shock, la verdad. Vale, han confirmado día 10 de mayo sale el creativo.
That's right. We have so many exciting stuff planned for 2023 and beyond, and today we're going to take a sneak peek and meet the people who are making it happen. So,
vale, básicamente que van a enseñar un avance de lo que es el creativo.
A quick chat with creative director Joe Walsh.
Vale.
Hello, Joe, and welcome to the beautiful Fall Guys HQ library. Now, you are here to talk about creative.
Ojalá esa camiseta del tío.
I've got a few questions about the direction the game has been going. So,
a salir de fiesta, tío, qué locura, bro.
Yeah, so it's been a long time in development, the new season update, and I think we want to mention that that's something that's kind of going to continue over the course of the year. We're looking to make some big changes to Fall Guys, and that means that seasons are going to get slightly longer to give us the time to kind of make these big changes. But there's going to be big additions happening during a season as well, so you aren't going to get those long droughts of content that we've maybe had in the past. It's worth talking about vaulting as well. It's always a hot topic with our community. That's something that's going to continue as we go into the new season. Old rounds are coming back, some of them are going into the vault, but it's worth mentioning that these things are really
de vuelta, dicho.
Dev team. It's allowing us to really focus on the launch of the new season of Creative, which is a big change to the game.
So, creative sounds like no small task. It must have been pretty difficult to implement such a huge part of the game. So, I mean, how was that for you?
Yeah, it's been the single biggest change that we've ever made to the game, and it's really exciting to finally give players like the keys to the kingdom. Basically, like we're finally going to see the types of rounds that people want to make, like crazy ideas that we could have never thought of as developers. And this is kind of only the start of it as well. Like the creative that we launched with Season 4 is just the beginning. We're going to be adding new obstacles, new round types, new themes to creative as well. Yeah, it's all going to keep growing as we continue to support Fall Guys over the next
A ver, estás diciendo que la cuarta temporada va a ser como un comienzo para algo nuevo para Fall Guys, que van a añadir muchas más cosas a partir de ahora, eso han dicho.
But I mean, how is that going to shape the future of Fall Guys, do you think?
Yeah, so one of the main changes is that from now on, the dev team at Mediasonic are going to be using the creative tools to build levels for the game exclusively. That means that we can launch more content than we ever have before. With the launch of Season 4, we're going to be dropping over 50 rounds throughout the course of the season, which is way more than we've ever managed before. Another thing which is also really helpful is that for the first time we can start tweaking the levels over the air, so we won't need to push new updates live to fix bugs, which is, again, like a big problem we've always had with the game. So all of these things are just going to make the content so much richer and so much more varied from this point forwards, really.
And not to understate it, because that is really, really cool. The players are going to be using the same tools that the devs are using, and, you know, getting a little taste.
Dicen que van a añadir como 50 rondas más, que supongo que serán variaciones y tal, y que van a ir actualizándolas, los bugs y tal, cuando vayan saliendo. Bueno,
you'll get a share code, and you can then share that code with your friends.
Cuando vayan saliendo, bueno.
Prove that it's possible. You'll get a share code, and you can then share that code with your friends, and you can fire that up in a custom lobby with your friends or on your own. If you just want to play other people's rounds solo, that's totally fine as well.
Se pueden jugar solo o con amigos, con un código igual que Fortnite, básicamente, los mapas.
Live a sideshow of all the best content from the community, and you might even get your round into main show. We're also going to be adding and improving the discoverability stuff, so hopefully in the future we'll just get even easier for you to find the types of rounds that you want to play.
Very cool.
Vale.
The work in progress. It just keeps getting better.
Con estas gafas parezco listo, tío. Parezco el emoji este de las gafas con el dedo así.
Is this season any different?
Season 4 is launching with a digital theme. It's sort of a pastely vaporwave.
Vale, temporada 4,
and this theme
tema
is launching
digital.
with a bunch of really cool retro digital costumes. And a new obstacle
skins
called the
retros
as well, which is sort of a hybrid between a punch glove and one of the lily pads as well. So,
Los mapas
something
¿esta es la
you can
temporada
play
nueva?
with. All of this stuff is going into Creative on day one for you to start making levels with.
Well, the Boom Blaster sounds like it's going to be fun and absolutely infuriating, so I cannot wait to get hands on with that and build with it as well from day one, which is very exciting. Are there any other little changes in the season we can get a sneak peek of?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch more stuff. The show selector is getting like a fresh coat of paint, so you'll be able to now have way more stuff live through the show selector, kind of creative rounds, other stuff. Also, body blocking is something that we know the community has wanted for a long time. So we've taken a look at the code there and we're kind of changing
Salen
the way
como
you
mapas
drop
de
sword
gente que o sea, salen como los mejores mapas en las búsquedas para que la gente los juegue.
Finally, we're going to be changing the way season passes work. Season passes are going away and we're replacing them with shorter fame pass. So you're going to have multiple fame passes each season.
Ah, que está en español los títulos, soy imbécil.
Shorter, more bite-sized, 40 tiers to each one, and they're going to cost 600 show bucks, so they're going to be cheaper. This is going to allow players to
¿Cómo? ¿Hay
feel good about
diferentes pases, ha
completing those
dicho?
things in a more bite-sized way, which kind of matches the way that people tend to play Fall Guys. But they're still going to be full of amazing. But they're still going to be full of amazing costumes.
Ay, no me
our own
gusta
costumes,
nada
kind of
esto,
collaboration
tío.
costumes as well. So yeah, really excited to launch that with season 4 as well.
No.
Thank you so much, Joe. I cannot wait to dive in. And we actually have a sneak peek of the first Fame Pass right now. Check it out.
Bueno, en verdad sí, en verdad es bueno, en verdad. Hostia, ¿esto es la temporada nueva? ¿O qué es esto? Ah, las skins. ¿Pero por qué? ¿Porque son cuadrados? Van a sacar todas las skins que han sacado hasta ahora versión cuadrada. Bravo. Me levanto, tío.
What did I tell you? We've only just started the show, and already we know that next season your Fall Guys will step into the digital realm. Creators will be able to work with the same tools as the development team. We're dropping 50 new rounds throughout the season. Whew.
¿Saldrán 50 nuevas rondas en la temporada?
Fine. Today's reveal is about
Temporada de un
giving you
año,
a full
gente.
exploration of creative. So let's do just that and jump on over to the Mediatonic studio. And the team there are going to walk us through how you go about
Va a
creating
durar un año la temporada.
a new round.
Vale, se viene
Hi
creativo,
everyone, I'm
¿eh?
Adina,
And I'm Max.
and today we're going to show you creative and build a round together.
Yeah, so let's just get right into it. So from the get-go, we
Ole!
have the new creative tab where you can now create new rounds and load previous rounds, but we're going to start a new round.
Yeah,
so we're going to
let's
go straight
go.
into that. From the beginning, you can immediately see it's going to ask you what mode you want to make. For now, we're just going to build a race. There will be more coming eventually, but for now, we're just going to build a race. And the same with the theming, so you can change the sort of theming of your race or other modes as we bring them in. So we're going to go for original.
Just a bit of a disclaimer here. Remember that this is a dev build,
Yes.
and there could be some slight changes on release.
From the get-go, you're going to be greeted with a whole new UI that you're probably not used to seeing when playing Fall Guys. First thing you're going to want to acknowledge is that in the top left, there's a checklist. So you're going to need a start line and a finish line for a race. You'll also see that you can
Vale. Me hace
move
gracia que
the
diga,
cursor around
veréis una
with the left
nueva,
stick,
veréis una nueva
and
imagen que
also
parece
rotate the camera with the
que no
right
parece
stick.
Fall Guys. Vale.
And we've got our start line here to get us started. A few things that when you're going to start building this round out is we've got our objects list. When you press right on the D-pad, immediately you're greeted with a whole bunch of icons that might not immediately make sense. So let's walk through it a little.
Let's go.
So we have our platforms tab, which is just our static geometry. Blocks and barriers, which are good little static bits of geometry that aren't quite floors and walls, but rather small little obstacles.
Bueno, están enseñando un poco el creativo, ¿no?
We have our
Básicamente.
moving surfaces. We have obstacles, which you'll all know and recognize, things like our pendulums and our cannons, and our little bits of decoration, which sort of add a little bit of flavor to your rounds.
Vemos que hay un máximo de 1000. Hay límite de objetos. A ver, claro, obviamente tienen que hacerlo, si no, claro.
That affects your budget in the top right. Once you reach the end of that budget, you're not allowed to build anything else. For that reason, it's good to
No sé, serán pocos, serán muchos, no sé.
Get the basic gameplay concepts.
Hay límites seguramente por Switch. Sí, puede ser.
In terms of your controls,
hay que pagar por objetos, no hay que pagar nada. ¿Cómo que vas a pagar? Ese es lo que vale, o sea, es lo que ocupa en el mapa, no tienes que pagar nada. Tienes 1000 herramientas para crear un mapa. 1000 cosas de esas.
I think we should go for a medium.
You think medium?
Round, yeah.
So you don't want to build a small
es que era barbudo. Ya no podrías hacerme la broma de, mira, es que Eroro tiene gafas. Ya no tengo gafas.
Edie, I think you've got an idea where we're going from here, right?
Yeah, I wanted to
Ahora tendréis que buscar a otra persona que se parezca a mí.
Okay, sure. Let's get some DoorDash doors in here.
Yeah.
3's looking a little
He matado un meme, sí.
Yeah, make it 5.
Again, on each of our objects, you can change the properties of each object. Most of the objects have different properties, some relating to color, some to just general values. So in this instance, I can change the amount of doors and how many of them will actually be open or closed. What do you want to do with this?
You're going to rotate them.
Eso mola.
So we're going to line that up, and then we're going to get
a little bit of floor.
A little bit of flooring. This will snap. You have snap properties.
Uf, cómo me gusta esto.
Which does make life easier. When you've not got anything selected, you can go to your tools.
Ya es el primer minijuego que voy a hacer con Sub.
So you can do camera snapping.
Solo con esta, me acaban de dar ya como la idea.
Which is great.
Now I think you're going to take all of that and make another level of it.
Okay, cool. So we're going to go into our tools again. We're going to go to multi-select. This allows us to create a paintbrush and select the objects we want to copy. We're going to then copy those, bring them down.
And it makes it very fast as well.
Try and line that up. So if it doesn't line up, that's fine.
Eso son puntillas de puertas.
So you feel it meets your perfect.
Está guapísimo, me gusta.
Should we test that a little bit?
Yeah, let's give it a little test. So we can come on in, you can press the button on the controller that states at the top.
Yeah.
And you can just dive in. And
literally
it will,
at any time of the process.
It will put you where you select your cursor, so you can test from anywhere in your round. So we can see that that works. Copy this, do the same thing.
Yeah, third row of it. And that's what's really fun also with Creative is...
Me están copiando la idea de mi minijuego, tío.
Rotate them, try to experiment with them.
Es lo que os dije que quería hacer de minijuego.
Exactly.
So we're gonna copy some more.
Esto lo hice en Fortnite, esto.
This is a good place to get a little checkpoint in, which is
Fue uno de los minijuegos que hice en Fortnite, que era básicamente un camino, o sea, era un 3 pasillos. Y cada vez que llegabas a un punto tenías que elegir una de las 3 puertas, ¿sabes?
Perfect.
And snap that in. Now, I've got an idea for this section. I'm thinking we get 2 slime platforms on either side with a conveyor coming against us and some little bollards to make it a bit sneaky.
Let's go.
Yeah, so we're gonna just make that quite thin, drag that out. As you can see, we're just grabbing objects from the object pool, copying them, making them to the perfect size, and just getting them in. So then we're gonna get our bollards. We're gonna whack these in a nice little sort of triangular formation, just so if we get a bunch of players funneling in, it's a little difficult. And then we'll
va a estar muy guapo cuando la gente cree que guau, es que va a ser una locura.
With the paint tool, you don't have to hold it. You can just kind of.
Y parece súper fácil de crear un mapa, ¿sabes?
I don't even have to redo all of that work. So we're now gonna select our final little bollard because we just want one in the middle. There we go. We've immediately got our 2 parts. We're now gonna get the conveyor. Yeah. So we're gonna set this in the settings. Similarly, we get a lot of options here. We're going to set this to go to reverse. We're going to have this at normal speed because I think fast might be a bit too much. Bit too much. And then we're going to conjoin this.
Tío, está creando el mapa súper rápido, ¿no?
Really short section, nice and sweet. Drag this out.
Un K parece ser bastante, ¿eh? Hombre, lleva 270.
Now, hammers, similarly, you might have seen sometimes they're like in this position in previous rounds.
Sí, supongo que será depende del objeto que pongan,
¿no? Same object in a different way to achieve the same goal. I'm going to put that one there. We're going to put this one here, and we're going to rotate it round. Now, something you can do, if we go into play here, you'll see that they kind of go at the same time.
Un rodillo ocupa 50.
If that's what you want, that's
ya
great.
Ves.
But if you want something a little more chaotic, you can just put a little delay on them.
Perfect.
And then I'm thinking you get a checkpoint in there.
Yeah, a little checkpoint after that section would be perfect.
Do the same thing. Actually, we can just copy this one.
Está guapo el mapa y todo.
You know what? Saves time.
And exact same size as we need as well, so perfect.
So now that we've got this this checkpoint, and I did the previous section, what are you thinking we should do for the next one?
Yeah, so I was thinking that we could add a little bit of verticality again to the level.
Ya que hemos ido bajando.
Let's go back up a little.
No,
What do you think?
I feel that. I can feel it. Yeah,
Cool.
let's do that. And this is what's great about Creative. If you and your friends
Como si no estuviese hablado de antes, ¿sabes? Lo que tienen que hacer.
each other and just create something on the fly,
Yeah.
you can do that.
Let's put a little drum on
Okay,
each
yeah,
of
yeah.
the path, adding a little Lily Lippers.
A little
vibe.
Lippers inspiration.
Yeah, a little Lily Lippers inspiration to the level.
Cojones es
Now,
eso,
the
tío.
drums are a bit tall, so I think we might need to add
Do you
in
need
some
a ramp?
ramps.
Yeah.
Un Lily Lipper, ¿qué?
As I said, like
Rarísimo,
every
¿no?
object, these are customizable, so we kind of need the height here, so we're going to need to change the settings. We're going to need a larger slope. Maybe let's make it a bit shorter, and then change the color. Give it a little,
Yeah,
make
to
it
make
pop
it
out a little.
different as well
Yeah.
from the floor.
So let's get that in there. Extend this out by 1. There we go. A nice little ramp up to our
Awesome.
drums.
Now, after the drums, you can put little blocks, you
Yeah.
know, to have a little platform to land on.
So let's
1000
do
para
that,
jugadores que quieren
and
mapas,
then
¿crees que
we'll
será mucho o poco?
in.
Bueno, a ver, obviamente
Exactly what I had to say.
la gente que esté más loca,
I'm glad I'm reading your mind here.
1000 les será poquísimo, ¿no? En plan, gente que cree mapas así muy bestias.
Challenges. I was thinking for the left one, we could go with this fan,
Yeah,
over there.
Okay, so let's get these fans in. You can see that when I try and place the object, it goes red. This is because the object itself is probably going to collide with the other object.
Let's change their settings.
Yeah, change the settings, yeah.
Anti-clockwise.
Yeah.
Normal as well. Give it a little bit of a delay, maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
And this one clockwise
But
and
fast.
fast.
Yeah, with a little more.
Perfect.
I know where you're going with this. And then what do you think for the
Está
other side?
guapísimo.
Maybe
Hay que hacer el juego del calamar. Se va a hacer súper, ya ves, 100%.
Yeah,
I'm
the
already there.
rotating.
I'm already there.
100%,
Same thing
100%.
as the other side. So immediately we can go in, play this, check this out. It's always worthwhile if you're going to build a split path round. You want to make sure that both sides are achievable. As you look at this, I'm awful at these, but oh.
Well, you're doing great for someone who's awful at them.
And let's check the other side.
10 de mayo, sí.
Whirly gig vibes here. I'm feeling it. It's fine. We're all good.
Brilliant.
Now we need to bring these in line.
Hombre,
I have
llevan
the
500 y
perfect idea.
llevan bastante puesto, ¿eh?
And I love the little
Y mira que
secret
están
there.
haciendo
There's
como un
lovely
mapa
white lines,
tipo
so you roughly know when you're
doble, ¿sabes? Rollo, doble mapa.
where to line them up.
Si solo se hace una línea, un mapa de una persona, se puede ser gigante
Give it a
esto.
little bit of flavor. Lovely.
Loving this, yeah.
And then another checkpoint.
Yeah, let's go.
Por lo que
And
he
now I think
entendido,
we should do the last dash
Yeah.
to the end of
por
the
lo que he entendido,
Yeah.
Have a little idea
la...
of there. Let's have some.
You're gonna have a slime floor. aren't you?
Los pases de temporada van a haber
Sliding
3
down to the end,
y van a
yes.
ser de cada uno de 60 niveles.
Make it a little longer.
Yeah, a
Y
little longer.
creo que se irán
And then we're gonna
activando
rotate this, give it a little
mientras vaya...
And then we're gonna get
Esto me gusta y no me gusta a la vez, es raro.
steeper. Oh, I'm gonna get that
Porque...
Oh, nice.
Lovely. We can give that a little test.
Básicamente vas a
I love that we
poder...
can't see
can't
the
see the
second
second
one.
Qué guapo.
Well,
Hostia, cómo mola.
this just exudes chaotic vibes.
¿Qué sentido
Yeah,
tiene?
let's-
Hombre,
let's
pues...
keep this going.
Brilliant. I think you could
Que
add a
la
little
gente
challenge
no se va a hacer
Yeah.
los
and
200 niveles nada más empezar la temporada y obligan a la gente para hacerse todos los niveles a jugar
Cheeky.
todos los meses de la temporada.
Get that right before we
¿Sabes?
place the finish line.
Create a lot of momentum as well.
And then we're gonna, I think we can place our finish line.
Yeah, let's go.
And now I think that is our round. And look at that. It looks
Pedazo de
like a
mapas
very
ha hecho,
simple,
¿no,
straightforward
tío?
round. We did this in a really short period of time.
Joder.
You already have something that you can just play.
Y le
and
sobran
test out.
200
So now
todavía.
we're done.
Casi
We now
800.
need to go through and publish
Publish.
this. So what you want to
Joder.
do when you're
El pedazo de
ready,
mapas
we're
ha hecho en un
done with
momento,
the round,
tú.
You're going to press the start button.
Y ha
or the
tardado
button
nada, o sea,
before
rollo
you go firstly.
15 minutos ha tardado en hacer el
That
mapa.
will just automatically save the round and also generic settings so that you can adjust that later. It just makes sure you don't lose any progress while you're building things. And we're gonna hit the publish flow.
Yeah, let's go.
So let's go.
Gives a little intro camera.
Qué guapo, se ve hasta
Something that you
una
obviously
cinemática y todo.
recognized
Qué
from
guay.
previous rounds, so we wanted to make sure that you got your own little intro camera. All right, so let's see if we can
Let's go.
play this. Now,
Yeah.
so you can see because we changed the open
Pero
doors.
puedes saltar por delante y saltarse todo esto, ¿no?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm awful at this. Oh, I'm awful.
O a lo mejor
Oh,
tiene
there we
hitbox
go.
por las puertas, por la red
Going
puede ser.
to the path of most resistance here.
Something to take in mind when you're building these out is that depending on the amount of players you're building,
Las puertas
you
sirven
wanna
como
make sure
Lily.
there's space
Sí.
for players to get through. So whilst it may seem fairly easy on your own, it's probably going to be a bit harder when more players
20
going
players,
through it,
yeah.
Tiene que
You
poner
are
muros o
doing
algo,
great.
claro.
No fails yet.
Yet.
All right, yet.
I don't want to jinx it.
You know,
Yeah.
we should have changed
We should
the
have
pendulum
done, yeah,
timers.
little delays.
But that's the thing, you can change the flavor to however you want it to, and, you know, and I should have jumped. Okay, I'll make sure I jump
What?
this time.
Yeah, this time do not forget to jump.
Sometimes I'm
You
just bad at that.
got it.
Yeah, all right, we got there. So now that we've done the test complete, and we can now
para
choose to
publicar el
publish.
mapa,
so we can either cancel this.
tienes que pasártelo.
Like the round that you made.
Eso mola, eso. Porque si crear un mapa es muy difícil,
Let's just publish this, and that gives us.
si crear un mapa es muy difícil, mira, ahí está el código.
From there, you can hand that around to your friends.
Eso está guay. Claro, para que sea posible pasárselo, claro.
Yeah, I hope this little run through gave you a good idea of what Creative can do. And yeah, it's all about build your round, play it, and share it with your friends and the community.
Está bien eso.
We're super excited to see what you guys can
game exclusively. That means that we can launch more content than we ever have before. With the launch of Season 4, we're going to be dropping over 50 rounds.
Si crear un mapa es muy difícil,
Let's just publish this, and that gives us.
si crear un mapa es muy difícil, mira, ahí está el código.
From there, you can hand that around to your friends.
Eso está guay. Claro, para que sea posible pasárselo, claro.
Yeah, I hope this little run through gave you a good idea of what Creative can do. And yeah, it's all about build your round, play it, and share it with your friends. And what Creative can do. And yeah, it's
Ay, no. Un video de que no lo para hablar.
¿Qué?
¿Estás diciendo lo mismo que dice el video de que no lo?
Estoy reaccionando a eso. Y no sé si te das cuenta, pero me está felicitando porque no lo pude causar cuando llegas.
It's all about build your round, play it, and share it with your friends and the community.
Está bien eso.
We're excited to see what you guys can come up with and what you're going to build. And yeah, we're looking forward to play what you're going to make.
Me encanta porque el gorro del tío pone número 1 Creative.
I think that's it from us, right?
Yeah.
Número 1 Creative Person.
Catch you later. See you in another
Bye.
video. Bye.
Build, play, share. It's as easy as that.
Oye, ¿y el tráiler de la temporada?
Launching with original and digital themes, and you'll be
Rollo los mapas nuevos y tal.
But we'll also be adding more round types, themes, obstacles, and music in future updates. Whew. So, now you've heard all that, I think you're probably ready to jump in and start building. And we've got a few tips to help give you a boost. Firstly, make sure you're a member of the Fall Guys Discord server where you'll be able to share your creations using your round share code. Next, if you're looking for some pointers or inspiration, then keep an eye out for our brand new YouTube series. Finally, the Mediatonic team will be roaming through their favorite creations to add to specially constructed creator round playlists, and they will be in the live shows tab. Now, who's your favorite Fall Guys character?
La bala, la bala, la bala. La bala.
Pink, or maybe it's
La bala, la bala, la bala, la bala.
Personally, I'm rather partial to banana.
La bala.
Eyebrows. Well, we're lucky enough to be joined by senior writer Murray Lewis, who's going to take us on a deep dive into the world of Fall Guys lore. Hello, Murray, and welcome to the library. We are surrounded by, if you have an eagle eye, you'll notice some of the characters here who do actually have quite a part to play in the story, the narrative of Fall Guys. So as I'm introducing you to this library, why don't you tell us how you've introduced a narrative to Fall Guys and what that's been like?
Yeah,
Como una historia
absolutely.
que tú estás
It's
diciendo.
been a lot of fun,
Dice.
you know, finding ways to introduce new characters, new stories to that world. It's very vibrant, it's very
Están hablando sobre el modo historia de Fall Guys. Sobre el lore.
To tell stories with.
I think that's the sentence you ever expected you'd be saying, right? And then the sky's the limit when you've got like such a insanely open concept universe, right, as Fall Guys. But there are some main characters at the moment, so why don't you tell us about who they are?
Yeah, so going all the way back to the beginning.
Están hablando sobre el lore de la historia.
We've always had Pink, who is our kind of every bean, and also introduced slightly later, but has been around again for a long time, is Clovis, who is Pink's
Clovis, vale, un grande
Clovis.
Clovis.
They are an engineer. And then we started to introduce more narrative-focused characters like Silent.
Ya sé quién
dice.
dice.
They do their best to just create the best shows that they possibly can, but they also have this fascination with the world of Fall Guys and trying to find out a bit more about the history of the world that they're in. And then they're helped by Banana, who's their assistant showrunner.
Pero si no es un plátano, ¿por qué se llama plátano?
More recently, we've started to introduce characters like Hypebean, who you would have seen in the trailer for Free For All. They're kind of a celebrity in the world of Fall Guys in the Blunderdome. And then we've also got Stash and Sally, who you would have seen at the end of that trailer, and also we brought them into the following season.
O sea, sabéis que después de este vídeo no me voy a acordar de ningún nombre de nadie.
That work with Silent.
Quite a big cast so far. I mean, is that going to continue to expand, or are you done?
No, absolutely. We've got lots of upcoming new characters. We would have seen King Poseidon that we introduced in this season in Sunken Secrets, recently emerged. And moving forwards into next season, I can now reveal a new character called Digi that we're going to be introducing, who is also an engineer like Clovis. At the moment, she's currently missing. So we're hoping to look into, what happened to Digi, where has she been, what's she been up to.
Yeah, I love a bit of mystery. Okay, all right. Well, speaking of mystery, for the uninitiated, why don't you give us a recap of the main Fall Guys stories?
117 Ra, gracias por la sub con Prime. Era todo un juego premium, let's go.
It's a few seasons ago. We would have seen them.
Juego premium es un juego de mínimo
putting together the plans
8
to
euros,
launch
creo.
the satellite, which became the satellite of the free-for-all season. But they had a bit of an ulterior motive, so they weren't just doing it to broadcast the show.
Exclamación Discord y te dan el juego de Steam.
The universe. They also have this mysterious belt that they've been holding on to. They don't know exactly where it came from, but they know it's not from the Blunderdome, and they've been trying to work out where it came from. And so they sent this satellite up in the hopes of finding out. But Stash and Sally, being Stash and Sally, kind of messed it all up. And it got to the point where Silent was like, you know what, I'm just going to go up there and do it myself. And they started looking for this signal, and they found a signal coming from the planet. But as they found it, something went wrong, and it got Silent stuck inside the machinery of the satellite. And Banana had to actually come to their rescue, as you would have seen at the end of that season.
That's why we love Banana.
Always there to help out.
No te creo.
And pulling Silent out of that machinery kind of caused this energy.
Pero se salvaron, dime que sí.
Opened up one last big portal. And that became our way down to the source of this signal that Silent found.
Okay.
And that was the Lost City. When we got there, it seemed empty, but
y esta es la temporada. ¡Oh, lo que dice!
We're just hiding, waiting in the shadows, being like, do we trust these beans? We've never seen these beans before.
Scoping out the newcomers.
¡Qué locura! ¡Qué locura, qué locura!
Now and happy to make friends.
So we've got to this point now.
Y se hicieron amigos de Poseidón. ¡Qué locura!
Well, we've got a bit of a mystery to solve there. So where do we go from here?
It's a good thing you asked. We do actually have an event called Coin Quest.
Búsqueda de monedas.
And hopefully jump in and find out.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you so much, Murray. And right now, we have a quick look at the teaser for Coin Quest.
Ojo, nuevo evento, que vendrá dentro de poco a Fall Guys. A ver. Pero si ya está en Fall Guys.
Ya está. Pero esta skin ya la tengo, ya está.
Don't forget to check out the Coin Quest and help Silent and the rest of the gang to prove their worth.
Voy a ayudar a Silencioso.
Well, there you have
Me voy ahora mismo a
everything
ayudarlo.
you need to know to get you ready for the big release on May the 10th. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Hasta luego. Buenas, buenas, buenas.
I almost
Ah,
forgot.
joder,
I
tío.
promised earlier that we were
Buenas.
going to look at what else is planned for the future. And I don't break my promises.
¿Qué van a
So
enseñar?
let's get into it.
Cuidado,
One
eh.
little warning before we dive in. These features are very much still in
Esta función todavía está en desarrollo.
They could change drastically before
¿Qué es esto?
release or never even see the light of day
Buenas.
outside of the Mediatonic studio. So you've been warned.
¿Qué es
Now
esto?
we've got that out of the way, let's head back over to Joe for some exclusive details.
¿Qué es esto? Buenas.
Welcome back, Joe. We've dragged you back in because we want to talk about some experimental features. And they aren't a guarantee. I need to reiterate, need to make it clear, not a guarantee, but still very exciting.
Ha dicho que a lo mejor no acaban llegando, lo que va a decir,
Yeah,
rollo.
it's certainly scary. We never really talked about features that were kind of early in development before, but I think it's really important that we take an opportunity to kind of show our players our ambitions for the game over the next year.
¡Ay, ay, ay, ay!
We want to do more and more with these silly little jelly beans that we have. Like, we love them so much, and I just think there are so many great ways that we can take this game. And yeah, wanted to have an opportunity to kind of peel behind the curtain a little bit and show what it's like to develop things earlier on in development.
So which features are you most excited about?
Power-ups is a way to kind of inject kind of even crazier gameplay into Fall Guys in a way that we haven't really been able to find the space for yet. So kind of allowing Fall Guys to do weird and wonderful things and giving players the control over like when they happen is something that I think is really cool. And all of this would kind of be delivered through Creative as well. So you could maybe put power-ups in your own levels and certain places and things like that.
So of course, again, you know, we have to say that these might not happen, they might happen, but anything else you've conceived that
Por favor, que nunca salga esto.
Yeah, I mean, there's other stuff that we've been playing around with over the past year that it's just fun to show demonstrations of, really. Tether mode
que
is
nunca
something
salga
cool,
esto.
which is basically if you imagine co-op Fall Guys, but
¿Qué
with giant
cojones
bungee
es
cords
esto?
between you.
Okay, all right. Well, how does that work? You just start at the beginning tethered to each other?
Yeah,
or-
we've been playing it where you're tethered, and if you run kind of either side of a pillar, you both get pulled
Oh
back.
my gosh.
And you can kind of pull the other person up if they fall off the mat. We've had lots of fun testing that, and it feels very promising.
¿Sabéis la de bugs que va a haber con esto, tío?
Yeah, exactly.
Y la
And that's kind
de...
of one of the
Madre
ways we
mía,
can
es que no me lo... O
co-op
sea,
play in
porque
the
no
game,
salga
for
nunca esto,
example,
por favor.
You know, players love playing
No puede salir
Fall
esto
Guys, maybe
nunca.
not in a competitive setting, and we think it'd be really fun to kind of look at what co-op might be. For example, another thing that we've been doing, for example, is the roll feature, which was
Rodar.
adding new movement to the Fall Guys.
Oye, eso está guapo esto, fuera coñas, eh.
So what would it feel like if you could curl up into
Esto
a ball
mola,
and
esto.
bounce
¡Hola,
away
hola,
around
hola!
levels,
Vale, esto me ha
bounce
gustado,
with
eso me ha
things
gustado.
and things like that.
Eso me gusta.
So that's
Rodar y espacio.
Eso me gusta, eso me gusta, eso me gusta, eso me gusta, eso me
So,
gusta.
yeah, lots to
Eso
do
sí,
there.
eso sí.
It's just fun to kind
Eso
of
sí, eso
show
sí, eso
the
sí.
kind of, prototypey things.
Va con un martillo en la mano.
Just, yeah.
Eso no, eso no me gusta, eso no quiero.
Want to do with the game.
Obviously, players can see just how far the game has come, and it's come a very long way since its inception, but for you, that must be even more wild.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an amazing ride. I think one thing we always
O sea,
wanted
los
to do
movimientos
before the
no
game
me
even
gustan,
came out
está
was
guay.
about one day allowing players to make their own levels.
Todo lo que sea
So
golpear a
finally to be at the
enemigo, a
point
enemigo
where
no me
Creative
gusta.
has nearly launched is really
Son
exciting.
más motivos para
I think
que streaming
Fall
snipers
Guys is
vengan a
a special
joderme, así que
place
no, no
where,
quiero
you know,
eso.
Anybody can make a level. Like, you just have to throw a couple of obstacles and a start and a finish line, and hope that this could be the opportunity for people who've maybe never tried their hand at game design before. But yeah, more generally, it's been a real ride. We haven't got everything right. You know, we've made mistakes over the course of development, and I kind of just wanted to take the opportunity to thank our players for sticking with us as we try and figure out the weird and wonderful world of Fall Guys.
Buenas.
It's been a real journey, and yeah, excited to take the game from creative beyond into kind of weird and wonderful directions over the next few years.
Weird and wonderful, definitely the words I would use for it. Thank you so much, Joe. And thank you to all of you for watching at home. Remember, Creative does come out on May the 10th. So dive in and have fun. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Buenas. Vale. Esto es modo full modo creativo esto. Sí, todo esto son mapas que eran por el creativo, yo creo. Que ya han hecho, supongo. Está guapo, ¿eh? A ver, el creativo, guay. Mola. O sea, mola porque es contenido infinito, realmente. O sea, en Fall Guys. O sea, que hayan mapas y que la gente cree mapas, mola porque, coño, nos podemos sacar... puedo crear mapas yo y hacer torneos para vosotros. O incluso minijuegos para jugar con subs y cosas así. Podéis hacer mapas vosotros y grabar vídeos jugando mapas de suscriptores. O sea, rollo, hay mucho contenido realmente. O sea, el creativo está muy bien. Lo de los pases de temporada de 60 niveles cada uno, hay una parte que me parece bien y otra mal. Voy a poner full cam. parte que me parece bien. Es una forma de que la gente no se haga el pase en un mes y los 5 siguientes meses ya no jueguen y se esperen a la siguiente temporada. O sea, la gente se hará un pase de 60 niveles, el mes siguiente tendrá que volver al juego para hacerse el otro pase que saldrá y luego, creo que son 3 pases, si no me equivoco. Podemos tirar para atrás, sí, creo. Mira, ¿veis cómo hay calendario? El pase 1 será pues de X fecha a X fecha. Y supongo que si no te lo haces, podrás seguir haciéndolo todavía. Yo creo que esto estará activo hasta que... No se ve. Ah, vale, pues soy imbécil. Hay 3 pases de temporada. Está el 1, el 2 y el 3. Imaginaos que la temporada sale el 10 de mayo, ¿vale? Pues a lo mejor este pase... O sea, bueno, para que salga el 2 hay que esperar al 10 de julio. Y a partir del 10 de julio tienes que jugar otros 60 niveles para hacerte este pase. Y luego el siguiente, que el 10 de septiembre, por ejemplo. O el 10 de agosto, o cuando sea. Y a partir de ese día puedes hacerte otros 60 niveles. Me gusta y no me gusta a la vez. ¿Por qué? Es menos vicio, tío. Para cuando salga la temporada, ¿sabes? No sé cuánto va a durar el pase de 60 niveles, pero espero que bastante. Espero que dure 3 semanas, un mes. Pero si dura solo un par de semanas o algo así, tendré que esperar bastante a hacerme más niveles, ¿sabes? Y un poco pereza eso, pero bueno. Creo que cada pase cuesta... no sé cuánto ha dicho, pero vale menos ahora. 600. ¿Y cuánto valía antes el pase? Si valía menos, ¿no? pero sí, ¿cómo? ¿Cómo que 600 cada uno? Por eso digo que yo creo que esto, la temporada va a durar bastante más que todas las temporadas anteriores, ¿eh? Mínimo medio año fácilmente de temporada tenemos. Porque han dicho también que van a sacar 50 mapas nuevos. O sea, yo creo que esto fácilmente, mínimo medio año está. Mínimo. Yo creo que muere antes de la siguiente acto. Tenéis que tener en cuenta también que tendremos creativo, ¿sabes? Que el creativo también le dará mucho juego al Fall Guys. Resumen del directo. En verdad no.
Voy a intentar llegar a 500 coronas antes de la nueva actualización. Va a ser muy difícil, pero voy a intentar.
No, a ver, está bien, la verdad. Vale, perdón, gente. A ver, está bien. Era broma, gente.
Voy a intentar llegar
en verdad no, a ver, está bien, la verdad.